My name is Emily. I'm 31 years old. I work as a benefits planner for a life insurance company. It's a global business, and the pay is decent. Since I visit various companies for work, I have opportunities to meet people, including men. However, recently, one of these acquaintances put me through a terrible ordeal. Because of his greed for money, he ruined a significant milestone in my life. Today, I'd like to share the story of that unfortunate event. I lost both my parents in a car accident when I was in elementary school. My maternal grandparents raised me. I attended local public schools for middle and high school, and then went to a somewhat expensive college. My grandparents, who didn't have much money, took out loans so I could go to college. After I got a job, I took over the remaining debt. As a result, I was a bit strapped for cash when I met David through a mutual work connection. David laughed nervously when I shared my financial situation with him. "I'm in a similar boat, still paying off student loans," he said. "So, we're the debt repayment couple, huh?" "Exactly. I'd love to be debt-free as soon as possible." During our time dating, I was incredibly happy with David. We didn't have a lot of disposable income, but every day was fulfilling. Over the 3 years we dated, David kept getting promotions. His company valued ambition and talent, so he moved up quickly. As David's income improved, so did the quality of our relationship. I also picked up the pace on my debt repayment, not wanting to be left behind. David always had kind words for me. "Don't push yourself too hard, Emily. If you collapse, I'll be ruined too. You're the reason I can work hard like this." "Thank you. It's nice to hear that. Don't push yourself too hard either. You're the reason I can keep going too." We supported each other emotionally, helping each other get through our tough daily jobs. Looking back, that period of my life was fulfilling and purposeful. During this high point in our lives, David finally proposed to me. "I want you to be by my side forever, as partners, supporting each other." I'm so happy. Thank you. Likewise, I look forward to our future together. We decided to rent a new condo and move in together. Both of us earning well, I felt our relationship strengthened. That's the vibe I got. This was a little before we actually started living together. I met David's parents. They were thrilled to meet me. According to them, David scored a beautiful and talented woman who graduated from a good university. I remember feeling awkward, yet flattered by their compliments. I didn't have parents, and my grandparents who raised me were already in a nursing home. So I decided David should meet my high school best friend, Melissa. We met at a cafe near Melissa's condo. "Nice to meet you. I'm David. Happy to finally meet you." "I'm Melissa. Emily told me lots about you. Please take good care of her. She can be vulnerable at times." Melissa is the same age as me, but she's incredibly stable and reliable. I was always the little sister figure, leaning on her for support. The big turning point came a few months after this initial cafe meeting, and once again, Melissa would come to my aid. In any case, introducing David to my best friend went off without a hitch. David and I decided it was time to dive into wedding planning. Around this time, we began planning. David's work started demanding more of him. Even on days we planned to go dress shopping, urgent calls would come in. "I have to work this weekend. I know it's a big day for us. I'm really sorry." "It's okay. I'll try on the dresses, snap some pictures, and we can pick one later." "Thank you. I'd rather be there in person, but I appreciate the gesture." David was genuinely busy around this time. He was working almost every weekend, and even had work trips during the week. I was pretty much planning the wedding by myself, which was exhausting since I had my job too. But all the hard work paid off. The ceremony and the reception exceeded our expectations. My coworkers livened up the party with performances, and Melissa gave a touching speech. My grandparents, who are in a nursing home, sent their blessings through a video message. After waving goodbye to the last of our guests, David and I finally had a moment to relax in the backstage room. I remember David casually checking his phone right after our small talk. The surprised look on his face. David left the table while on the phone. I thought he might be having some work trouble, but little did I know, something was changing behind the scenes. A change big enough to affect both David's and my life. In the backyard of the venue, there was a steep staircase for staff to use. In my gown, I had to pass by those stairs to change. The staff were distracted by someone calling from across the hallway. I think it was in that moment when I was off guard. My body flew through the air, someone screamed, a powerful impact, and a series of intense pain overwhelmed me. I fell down the steep stairs in my gown and lost consciousness. When I came to, I was lying in a hospital bed. Bandages were wrapped around my arms and legs, and I was bruised and scraped all over. No broken bones, just bruises and contusions, and thankfully my brain activity was normal. The nurse explained that I had fallen down the stairs at the venue. I had no idea how it happened. A few hours later, an even more puzzling event unfolded. David, who had come into my hospital room, suddenly broke up with me. "You're useless to me now. Here's $30,000 as a settlement." What? Wait a minute. What's going on? Explain yourself. "Just lie down and shut up. You'll make your injuries hurt. Huh. I told you, you're useless to me now. I found another woman I love. I'm marrying her. Sorry, Emily." Are you kidding me? We just had our wedding ceremony, and now this? "But we haven't filed the marriage certificate yet. Was waiting for our anniversary to file the paperwork. Turns out, it was the right call. Never thought this would happen." David looked genuinely happy. He couldn't care less about my injuries or suffering. "I'll give you all the wedding gifts as a get-well-soon present. Bye." Wait, David? David? He didn't hear me. David left laughing. I cried, clinging to Melissa, who had come to visit me. Tears streaming down my face, I told her everything. Melissa silently patted my head, listening until the end. "It's been so tough. I'm furious this happened to you, Emily. Focus on healing. For now, I'll look for the culprit." "The culprit?" "Yes, the culprit. The person who pushed you down those stairs. I suspect it's David. He's definitely off. He was even laughing." "Laughing when?" "I was waiting for you to change so we could leave together. Then ambulances showed up, and it was chaos. They said you had fallen down the stairs. That's when I saw it. As they were carrying you, he had this nasty smile on his face. Just imagining it sent chills down my spine. Did David push me down the stairs? What could he possibly gain from it? Anyway, I decided to focus on healing, just like Melissa advised me. As my physical wounds began to heal, so did the wounds of my heart. My deep sorrow turned into fierce anger. I couldn't rest until the responsible parties were held accountable. My heart, once soaring with happiness, now became consumed with thoughts of revenge. A few weeks later, Melissa and I lured David to a cafe. We had gathered all the evidence we needed and were ready for payback. I was set on getting even. David seemed different than when we were dating. He was dressed flamboyantly and was wearing accessories that he never wore before. In a good mood, David handed me an envelope. "What's this? A stack of cash? What's the meaning of this?" "It's a get-well gift. Good to see that both your scars and bruising have healed up." "How generous of you. Do tell, what brought this on?" "Yeah, why don't you explain yourself? Why did you betray Emily?" David's smirk only became more nauseating. He looked so smug that it was creepy. "Actually, the woman I've been seeing won $10 million in the lottery." $10 million? "Yes, so what's 10,000 or 20,000 to me now?" Apparently, David had been involved with another woman even before we were married. She hit the jackpot right after our wedding ceremony. David changed his mind after learning about it, and in a fit of excitement, he pushed me down the stairs. He must have thought he could smoothly transition into a new life with her once I was out of the picture. What a selfish man. I felt the flames of revenge burn deep within me. I can't forgive you. I'll report you to the police. Whoa there. Don't make it sound like I pushed you. There's no evidence. The staff said you slipped and fell. True. That's what the staff testified. But they only reported what they saw. Melissa had done her own in-depth investigation. I asked the venue staff to show me all the security footage. On one of the tapes, there's a brief moment that shows a hand pushing Emily's back. Startled, Melissa showed David her phone. It was a freeze frame of the moment of the crime. The color of the perpetrator's clothes? It matches the frock coat you were wearing. Nobody else at the venue was wearing that color that day. No way, you've got to be kidding. Gone was his earlier confidence. David began to tremble and turn pale. He seemed to have given up. He became forward and apologized deeply. Please, I beg of you, don't tell anyone. Just spare me from the police. So you admit you're a criminal. Will you turn yourself in, or should I call the authorities? What's it going to be? Ugh, damn it. David left the cafe with us and immediately turned himself in at the nearest police station. He tried to hire a lawyer for a settlement, but I refused. In the end, David was charged, found guilty, and fined. I also didn't forget to go after David's mistress, whose name I got from him, Rebecca. I called her to meet me, fully intending to get an elaborate apology. To my surprise, she showed up in the cafe in rather plain clothes. My memory was still vivid with David's flashiness the day we reunited. I had thought the one who won the $10 million would be just as flashy. I'm really sorry for the trouble I've caused because of me. Well, he was blinded by your $10 million, too. About that $10 million? Rebecca revealed a shocking truth to me. I couldn't help but believe her tearful plea. She apologized many times. After that, without saying a word to David, she quietly disappeared. Several weeks later, I got a call from David on my mobile phone. He wanted to meet and talk. He seemed pretty desperate. Of course, I understood why. When I met David again, he was much more modestly dressed than before. I can't get in touch with Rebecca. Do you know where she is? Why would I know where your $10 million lady is? Right, yeah. Listen, Emily, I've given you a total of $40,000, right? No, it's actually $60,000 if we include the compensation. Is that so? I hardly remember. Can you return half of that money? Or even just $10,000? No, but I do have some valuable information to give to you. Information? Yes, information that's very important for you. I took out my mobile phone and played a pre-recorded video. David's eyes widened. It was Rebecca. I had recorded her before she left town. David, I have to apologize to you. I'm really sorry. The story about me winning $10 million in the lottery was a lie. I lied because I couldn't bear the thought of you marrying someone else. A lie? The whole $10 million story was a lie? I'm truly sorry. I just apologized to Emily as well. I plan to disappear from this town. I can't tell you where I'm going. I'm really sorry for ruining both of your lives. David was stunned, speechless for a long time after the video ended. He looked completely shocked. It wasn't funny when I thought about being in his shoes. Pushing your spouse down the stairs for a non-existent $10 million? Fooled by a lie? Impulsively committing a crime? And losing $60,000, including the compensation? Who would want to live their life thinking they're such a pathetic person? Leaving David as he was, head down and immobile, I walked out of the cafe, gripping the receipt. That was a few days after our encounter at the cafe. My phone buzzed again. Another call from David. Look, I've come to my senses. I was wrong. Can we start over? You've got some nerve, spouting lines like that, especially after you messed up a chapter of my life. The real culprit here is Rebecca for lying to me. If she hadn't lied, so you wouldn't have pushed me down the stairs blinded by greed. Cut it out. You were already the worst when you cheated on me. Who would give a man like you a second chance? Those $10 million from Rebecca exposed the real David. In that sense, I could almost thank her for her lie. It saved me from wasting my life on a worthless man. David tried to keep the conversation going, desperate to keep me on the line. It was a pathetic and futile struggle. I ended the call, feeling like I was pushing away someone who was desperately chasing after me. David had quit his job long ago, banking on Rebecca's $10 million lie. Now, it seemed he had to find new work. Melissa told me this as we shared drinks at my place over the weekend. She'd run into David in town and heard it straight from him. He can't get steady work because of his criminal record. Last I saw him, he was delivering food on a bike. So he's doing delivery. Sounds like gig work. Seems that way. He's doing whatever he can find. Melissa shared some of David's job hopping history. Traffic control for road work, janitorial services, lunchbox factory staff, warehouse worker. He looked worn out, all tanned and sunburned. I told him this is karma for betraying Emily, and he nodded. If he's aware, that's good. I hope he continues to repent for the rest of his life. Would you consider starting over with him if the chance came? No way! A man who would push a bride down the stairs in her wedding dress? Are you kidding? Melissa and I laughed heartily at that. Even if he threw $10 million my way, I'd still decline. A few days later, David contacted me again. Can you lend me $100? I'm really struggling here. No way. Please don't contact me again, and no following me. If you do, I'm going to the police. Wait, Emily, I'm really sorry. Don't you dare call me by my first name. I hung up and immediately blocked David's number. If he crosses a line, I have no problem reporting him. My post-David life has been pretty smooth. I got a good settlement, and he even paid for the venue. My grandparents in the nursing home and my coworkers all sympathize with me, which is to be expected. Anyone would feel sorry for a bride betrayed right after her wedding. But I'm not overly pessimistic about my current situation. My career is thriving, and my personal life is fulfilling. Melissa and I are even thinking of going to a single event. Having a divorce history isn't going to hold me back. I'm strong enough to make my fall down the stairs a talking point. Life has so much more in store. I'm going to find someone amazing and build a happy home.